Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute, but uh I just haven't been able to share. Yeah, fine, let's do that. Whoa. Alright, let's just turn that down. Let's just turn that all the way down real quick. Alright, so welcome back. It's your boy, Zoo Cactus. And I'm bringing you a game that I kind of low-key fell in love with due to the mobile game version. It's called Suzerain. Uh, I played it on mobile. I had a lot of fun, but it seemed like it was lacking, and I was like, it's on Steam. I gotta try out what it's actually supposed to be like. And I thought I'd show some love for it because I'm not seeing a lot of people play it, and I think it's a really good game. And I think it'll lead to a lot of awesome moments and really cool stuff. Just want to spread the word is what I'm trying to trying to say. Let's go. Yes. There we go. All right. So the whole essence of this game is that we are going to be running a country. So we can either be Anton Rain of Sortland, the fourth president of Sortland, or we can play Ramus Toras, king of Rizia. Damn, that sounds fucking badass, dude. I'm not for nothing. I'd rather be a king than a president. But let's just see what's happening here. King Romas Torres has ascended to the throne. His reign begins an political strife, contention between noble houses and demands for the reclamation of lost land. A monarch born into privilege is crowned in crisis. Ramus inherits a troubled reign, a troubled realm, and the burden of restoring the Golden Kingdom's future. Fractured prestige. The natural resource economy stagnates. Welfare burdens strain the treasury, and whispers of reform grow louder in the warring country. Inheriting a legacy both revered and contested, he must navigate a kingdom caught between tradition and transformation. Sounds pretty sick. Well, that's what have we played? Anton Rain. Anton Rain has been elected the fourth president of Sultan. Amidst a deep recession demands for reforms and external pressures, his victory followed a campaign focused on turning a new page and recovering from economic hardship, striking a chord with divided elect the divided electorate. Now, as administration takes shape, uncertainty lingers. In the halls of power, Reign faces a nation burdened by institutional fatigue, cautious optimism, and the quiet urgency of change. Not bad. Not for nothing. I mean, King still sounds like it's way better. It just sounds like it's so much more. I gotta deal with politics, bringing my kingdom back together. I think, yeah. So from where there's two parts of this country. Obviously, we all know all this. This is Riza. Everything in blue is my kingdom that I rule. However, Pales or Palace is uh is an old part of the country that we need to reclaim. Haven't done it yet, but I'm so interested. What's our country like? Semi-constitutional monarchy. 40 million. State religion, Orchism, Kiev First Gas, Gold and Wine. Starting in the 1950. Okay. Presidential Republic 36 mission in recession. Major power. 1954. Oh, they're starting after us. Huh, how strange. That's cool. I didn't know that. Do they have a state religion over there in Sweden? Oh, okay. I can't even do this. Damn. Alright, well, you can on the. I was playing this on the mobile version. You can. Alright, well, that's honestly disappointing. That sucks. Fuck. Yeah, I was really hyped to play the fucking king again. God damn it. Shit, angle my face, dude. I really should start doing a little bit more research. This is just fucking embarrassing. You're my enslavement and my freedom. You were my flesh burning like a raw summer night. You were my country. As you came going. 1908, King of Swordland. You opened your eyes to this world. You came from a family in the city of Lachevan, middle income family in the city of Horseland, and a poverty family in the city of Beer. It's no middle income. Parents named you Anton. As the only child of a diligent civil servant, you lived quiet in ordinary childhood. Life was not bad. You were lucky enough to attend a well-known public school, but frequent fights broke out with the Rain family, which made you feel uneasy. The years passed. 1923. During a history class at school, 23. Where's my phone? Quick, Google. How old am I right now? 15. Took me a little too long to fucking do that. I'll be honest. I'm not good with head math. During a history class at school, the bell started to ring unexpectedly, and you heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced the historical revolution. The kingdom was no more. The Republic of Soldan was born. You did not fully understand. You were happy that you had the day off. It's probably that's probably 100% true. Yeah, 100%. What am I, 15? Fuck that, dude. I got the day off of school. Hell yeah. Months after the Republic was proclaimed, life around you changed. You watched friends and family face uncertainty. Economic hardship, scattered unrest, and resistance from those tied to the old order. In this struggle, you envy those who escaped it all, wished for an easier path, easier resources, saw both pain and perseverance, and sought balance between the two. Felt the weight they carried and chose to shoulder even more. What? Oh, I think this is our playstyle. Alright, so that one go in the middle of the road. A lot of middle things, a lot of C's on tests I'm doing. After graduating, you passed the university exam, and with high marks, you had the opportunity to choose between several studies you chose. Oh, at 17, I graduated university. Damn, my math must be fucking wrong, bro. Hold on, let me check my math real quick. What the fuck? That can't be right. What am I, a genius? All right, let's fucking figure this shit out. Okay. Okay, in 1926, I would be 18. Oh, this is to get into university. Okay, got it. I read it wrong. I'm an idiot. Got it. Cool. Glad we figured that out. Thanks for being here, chat. All right, I'm making sure that my fucking stream is actually on. Because Lord knows I manage to mess it up each and every time. Fantastic. No. Law at the Holland State University. Economics or history? I'll be honest. I think I like history way more than any of these two. So it's gonna be history for me. It's gonna be history for me, dog. During the first year of you attended a lecture with David Whiskey. He was a well-known diplomat from the foreign ministry and the son of the president. After observing the hall in silence, he explained why realpolitik is important for successful foreign policy. He argued that a strategy based on practical and material factors would be much more successful if reaching Sorden's ambitions. You agree in principle, you question what you were being taught. Only concern was passing the exam. Okay. Alright. Soldiers entered the camp. What? Hold on. Fuck. I was checking the audio to make sure that I was actually portraying my voice. Alright, on the 27th, so I'm 19 now. The campus in the evening ahead of the first election. Many were in shock as the uniformed men created a security cordon and started arresting the teachers. A group of students started gathering in protest along the restaurant. Peter Victor, he decided to protest with the students. We're probably gonna get shot. I guarantee that's what's about to happen. They're gonna open fire. Made a loud announcement that echoed through the campus. General Luteran declared martial law in order to restore the administration. Please stand back and disperse to your rooms. You join the students that slowly march towards a large group of soldiers. Some of the soldiers charged. The student fell and was trampled as everyone started running away. You held your ground. Relentlessly. Yeah. The group split the students into two groups and caused frequent fights. Torture and imprisonment of any opposing voice became a daily routine in the year. Dire. You didn't want to stay idle and decided to join a human rights group, a student council, a human rights group, dude. That's the only thing. Oh, hello. What? The group heavily protested against the deteriorating human rights situation in Swordland. We contributed in thorough discussions on how to protect and expand freedoms. One of the meetings, Petir Victorn, Vectorn? What are these names? Introduced you to a classmate of his, Monica. You were immediately attracted to her beauty. She mentioned to you that she was a volunteer for the Swordish League of Women, an organization campaigning for women's rights. You were weren't particularly interested in human rights, but you asked her for dinner nonetheless. Oh damn, I could really make myself look come back. No, nah, no, damn, that would be funny though. The politically charged environment led you to join the Red Youth, the Socialists, join the Young Swords, the Nationalists. Stay away from any political organization. The radio relayed that the communist general Ricard surrendered Lutheran and his troops demanding their surrender. Surrounded. I said surrendered. I'm an idiot. Surrounded and demanding. Okay. They refused, and heavy fighting broke out across the country. You just couldn't believe it. The army was fighting amongst themselves. Swordland plunged into chaos. Ricard's sudden attack caused even more bloodshed in the country. He seemed different compared to nationalist Lutheran. In your opinion, however, it was more of the same. So you participating in a protest march, you were chanting "One nation, one system, one people." And the chaos we want stability. United we stand, divided we fall. These all sound good. What is this? A communist general who led an attack in 1928 against General Lutheran's military coup. The nationalist general who led a military coup in the in 19. Damn, everyone sucks. One nation, one system, one people. End the chaos we want stability. United we stand, divided we fall. You were marching into card. Communist. Students and soldiers against a coup gathered a few hundred meters away. Many socialists among them. You knew something was going to happen. I stayed. I got beat up by the fucking soldier. You think I'm gonna run because of fucking commies? There was a massive clash between the two sides. Soldiers began to move. Tanks started rolling forward. In this chaotic moment, you saw a young girl about to be run over by a tank. I ran to save her? I guess, yeah. But you couldn't reach her in time. You never forgot her face. Whoa. clashes escalated into a full-blown civil war. The horrors made you isolate yourself for a while. Monica helped you cope, and love grew between the two of you. However, it was a difficult time for love. The chaos had to end. So with Monica. The love of my life. What? The charismatic Colonel Hakeem Soul orchestrated a sudden attack on the capital where the Lutheranis and Ricardist forces were battling each other. He defeated both, ending the war. President of Sordland and the famous colonel who re-established the Republic in 1929. Damn, I really shouldn't have read that. It really kind of fucked me over. A new constitution was written and the military government began efforts to restore stability. Many people saw the colonel as a savior. He formed the United Sordland Party. Sordland Party. Sordland. I'm saying it right, but it sounds wrong. And ran as a presidential candidate in the first ever single party elections. Yeah, well, yeah, I voted. When I gonna vote for this guy? The guy fucking literally brought peace to our country. USP won the election by a large majority. The military government announced a 4-year restoration period to transform to an entirely civilian government. God damn it. Established in 1929 by Colonel Hakeem Sood, the United Sordland Party is the governing party of Sordland. Okay, USP, United Sordland Party, makes sense. After graduation, he kept seeing Monica. They were both interested in marrying, started a family. However, a letter arrived from the military calling you to fulfill your compulsory service. What? Dude, I got drafted? Need you to serve your military draft? What am I? Alright. I was born in 1908. It is 1930. I'm 22. I'm getting drafted to the war. Damn, bro. A devastating civil war from neighboring Wetland quickly turned into a proxy war between regional and world powers. Who's Orleans? The Republic of Orleans is a young and fragile republic located to the southeast of Markova. The distinguished Major Isof Lancey ordered you to lead your squad on a border patrol mission. It was a very cold winter night when you began marching out of Dunmarin outpost. You could see your breath. One of our homies is gonna die. We're gonna take a bullet watch. A famous commanding officer from the Sordland Armed Forces who you served under. Right. Will there be more? After several hours of marching through the snowy hills, distant noises were heard. Visibility was low. To confirm the source, so the squad crawled forward in information and found a spot to observe. A group of refugees had made it beyond the border fence. You escorted them back. Let them slip through, though. Fighting a war, dog. We don't need to be fucking. You're leaving the place. That's right. I'm not gonna make their problem my problem. You know what I mean? After patrol, Major Lancey arrived with anger and immediately relieved you of command, calling you a disappointment. One of your squad members had reported your actions after several months of scrubbing the floor as punishment. Your duties ended and you went back to civilian life. You and Monica decided to share your lives together. After receiving the blessing of her parents, a ceremony was held in Holsword, the capital of the Republic of Scotland. Oh snap, just like having a fucking wedding in DC. During the same year, you worked hard to secure a high-paying job within the governing United Sordland Party. It was much more difficult to start your career on a good foot because of your refugee incident, but you still managed. Working for the ruling party was the easiest path to power. It was too great. Financial compensation. It was the best opportunity to change the country for the better. You became the foreign policy assistant for one of the more experienced members of Assembly. You worked long and hard reviewing dozens of foreign policy documents late into the night. You were climbing the ladder. So I am 25 now. 1933. In September of 1933, Tarkin Sol gave amnesty to the remaining factions of the Civil War and chose de-escalation and appeasement. The institutions and symbols of the former kingdom were slowly replaced. His government launched several new initiatives, such as a citizen-funded bill program to revitalize the economy, a social labor initiative to help rebuild and improve society, and a large dam project to solve the energy crisis. The first multi-party elections in the history of Sorlin were held. President Tarkin Sol was elected once more. I just realized that in the first election there was only one fucking like wasn't there only one party, so it was kind of like what's the point of like voting? Because you can who in the party you want to be elected president. I guess what it came down to. 1934, preparation of a comprehensive trade agreement with Angola. Agnolia. Okay, I was like Angola. What the fuck? Was occupying most of your personal time, but your significant contribution to the trade talks triggered an invitation to meet President Tarkin Sol himself, who offered you a key position. You were to become the youngest member of Assembly. I accepted right away. As the youngest MP, it was difficult to connect with the influential influential inner circle. You needed allies, so you brought on Peter Bechtern as your right-hand man. Who's he again? My best friend? Fuck, Peter, I'm so sorry. Fuck up your name. The birth of your son, Frank, provided a brief moment of joy and relief. You sacrificed work to spend time with your family. Damn. Alright, Paige, do I sacrifice work to spend time with my family, my newborn son, Frank? Or do I sacrifice family time to improve my position in the party? I'm trying to become the fucking president. I gotta go. It's my son, dude. I gotta be there for my son. During your absence, Peter Vectrin found trustworthy contracts, strengthened your position in the party. Fucking Peter, dog! Hell yeah! At the same time, President Soto increased his authority over the years. His growing ego started to cause strife within the USQ. The cracks began to show. Oh shit. 1945. I am. How old I am? How old am I in 1945? I'm 37. President Sol barely secured a majority in the election against the opposition leader. Over the next year, the Swedish people grew increasingly discontent with corruption and their worsening quality of life. Economic growth was slowing down. Meanwhile, calls for a united Sorlin Party Congress became louder as the leadership struggle started to grow. You kept supporting joining the internal opposition. Watch from the sidelines. I gotta see how this is all gonna play out. The contender for party leadership was Ewald Alfonso, a reformist, a talented business magnate with a growing follower base within the party. Meanwhile, in a desperate effort to secure votes before the Congress, President Sol was meeting party members one by one. He approached you two. Oh my god. This is our shot at the big boys table, guys. We're moving up to the adult table. The president offered you the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs and trade in the next government if you backed him in the upcoming vote. If I take this dude, I could maybe start making like moves so I can start changing the world for the better. I can be changing Sorlin for the better, right? I mean, you don't just kind of stare this like a once in a lifetime offer. You know what I mean? You don't just fucking reject that, right? But at the same time, president's losing it, guys. He's becoming too. His ego's getting too inflated. He's putting himself ahead of the party. He might. Nah. I look at this guy. This guy's probably won't even respect my input. 1946, the Congress is nothing short of impressive. Banners of the United Southern Party were decorating every possible spot. Thousands of influential political figures, lobbyists, and benefactors gathered for this turning point. The voting for the party leadership began. He voted Miguel Alfonso. The efforts bore fruit as a contentious leadership vote was won by Igual Alfonso. During the Congress, Joaquin Sol announced he would retire from politics at the end of his return, and appointed Alfonso as vice president. He knew the structure he had established was to stay. The country had become increasingly authoritarian. You happy that Sol was finally leaving, but troubled by the departure of Sol, didn't care about who was in charge. Nah. A month later, your daughter was born. Monica named her Diana. She molded you during a tumultuous period in the party. As the VP and the leader of the USP, Igual Alfonso began dismantling the old organizations and structures established by the USP, such as State Educators Corps and the state corporation bills. General elections were approaching. The United Southern Party was under new leadership. You joined the party effort and campaigned for him. During the general elections, the main opposition leader was embroiled in a sex scandal with his secretary. What? No way, dude. That's fake. He was replaced by the more popular figure, Franz Richter, with the damage had damn. Ain't that the way, bro? Really fucked it up for everybody. A new popular figure from the People's Freedom and Justice Party, who currently serves as its leader. The new economic policies and the extensive privatization program proposed by Igual Alfonso secured an election victory for the United Southern Party. Over the years, you did your best in order to make Southern a good place. Tried all that was necessary to climb up the ladder. Dedicated yourself to the party and its success. Gotta make the place. You gotta make the country a better place for my kids. You know, I got my daughter now. Like I have a son and daughter. How old is my fucking daughter? How old is my son, dude? When was my son born? Shits, shits. It was like 1933 was when my son was born. 33, 37. My kid's like in middle school or high school now. Jesus. Okay. Can I go back? I can't go back. He's like in high school. We'll say right. 37. But yeah, 14. The presidency of Alfonso saw many bold reforms in government and law, and advances in liberal democratic values. He valued his support throughout. However, due to infighting and disorganization, potential economic tensions, continental economic tensions, and fast-track privatization, it was followed by a severe economic recession. The other parties announced their bids for the 1953 election, but their unfair election system hampered opposition efforts to campaign. You did not survive another crisis. Were worried about the economic recession, worried that your reputation would be tarnished along with Alfonso. Not dude, the fucking economy's falling. I don't give a shit if I don't make it a president. I'd love to. I mean, obviously I'm going to be, but nah, we gotta the needs of the many. You know what I mean? With Peter's help, your presence in the USP group. The two of you worked long nights together. He flipped opponents to your side. You became the face of a new wing of the party. Step by step, and with adequate planning, your wing took over the leadership as President Alfonso lost control of the country. The moment to make a move had come. You blame the Alfonso for the crisis on television? Damn. It's, ooh, I'm gonna advise him. I'm not gonna call him out. Put up a bomb blast in front of the whole country? That's a wild move. It's fucked up. We were cool, dog. He ain't gonna just fuck you over like that. He listened to your advice. Alfonso conceded the leadership struggle, and the party eventually voted you to come because of your indisputable influence. Following this, you announced that you would be running for president in the general election with Peter as your running mate. It was your turn. 1953. Also, we were fucking the president in 1954, right? After visiting every city and town during the campaign, you made a speech on state television. You promised to damn enact democratic reforms, preserve national values. Well, what? See, this is a little key fucked up. What are the reforms, and what are our values? I feel like the safe option is to preserve national values, so we'll keep it that like that. Great nation of Swordland, due to our incompetent leadership. Oh, damn it. Fuck. Oh, god damn it. That's why I talk to my bull. I mean, we're fucking in a recession, dog. It ain't great. Enemies both internal and external are. Let's do that again. Great nation of Swordland, due to our incompetent leadership, enemies both internal and external are influencing our gorgeous nation. Today, more than ever, we need to unite under one flag and protect our values. Gracie Sorland. Gracie Sorland. Yep, that's Grazie Sorland. There we go. That's better. On election day, millions went out to cast their votes. It was time to face the truth. Oh, rise to power. President Rain. I'm the reigning president, guys. Do you get it? Oh, Jesus. So I was born in '08. It's 54 now. How old am I? Elected in 53. 45. Alright, not bad. Oh, Jesus. Movie star. Rebellious. The 20s. It is the 20s. Damn, dude, look how styling I am. I want to go default. See what we got for facial hair. Nice. Oh, God. Alright, no. You gotta cover up that top lip, man. Ah! Oh, Jesus. No. No. A little bit. Ah! You have a bad upper lip, dude. Cover all that up. Yeah, let's do that. Swordland first. Tuxedo, nice. Grand. White suit. Do that. Gold. Green. I do have glasses, so we're gonna have to. What the fucking no? This culture that looks. Ew. Oh, this looks. Oh, he looked bad. He looked like a fucked up. We look like a fucked up Clark Kent. Oh, god damn it. These all look terrible. Actually, alright. It doesn't look that bad. That's damn, dude. Alright, hold on. Hold on now. Hold on. Alright, no, this works. This does work. Alright, that isn't. Oh no, it looks like we're fucking chilling on the fucking beach. Yes. Election campaign promises. As Anton reigned, you made consequential promises to the people of Sordan to gain their votes in the 1953 election campaign. Consider these commitments carefully. After the recent market reforms and the recession, the country finds itself stuck between two different economic systems, with indecisions and turbulence, causing populace to demand direction. Promote planned economy or promote market economy. Let the market dictate itself. The market's fucking crashed. I think we need a planned economy. We gotta find a way to fucking start working our way towards an effective. We need a plan set in motion, not just hope it works itself out. That's what I'm trying to get to. The diplomatic arena. The global rivalries between capitalistic Arcasia in the west and the monarchy of Rumburg to the north and the communist United Cantana to the east are intensifying. Sorlin has a potential to ally with others or towards neutral. Who's the or east? The communist? We're gonna ally ourselves to the west. In the last 5 years, Bluish, Wessex, and Angolan immigrants flocked to Sordan due to relaxed immigration laws enacted by former President Uwald Alfonso. As a result, these tensions are causing requests of political actions. This is fucked up, but I'm a little biased. So my family are immigrants, so I'm kind of cool with relaxed immigration. But also, here's my thought process, right? Follow with me now. Well, due to immigrants, they don't, they're used to such a low cost of living, or not a low cost, but what am I trying to say here? The cost of living is so low that basically a dollar can go a long way in different parts of the world, right? So maybe we don't have to pay them as much, and that will help us. We're gonna use cheap labor to help us pick the economy back up. The once priced public, what I want to focus on my time. Public education system of the nation has suffered significant setbacks in the last decade. The lack of new schools, high student to teacher ratios, low teacher salaries, and even a lack of classroom equipment in certain parts of the country cause massive divergencies in the public education system. Okay? Defense. The Swedish Armed Forces were the nation's most funded branch until the Alfonso government reduced the defense budget significantly. With the increase of saber-rattling threats looming in the north by Rumburg and a growing presence of superpowers in the region, the critical deterrence of the SAF matters more than ever. So, Sorlin Armed Forces, SAF. Law enforcement. The recently culminating political tension between the different youth groups and socio-economic pressures between multiple classes of society is increasing the issues of the law enforcement systems. Police need help keeping up with increased crime. Simultaneously, judges and courts deal with enormous growing backlog of legal cases. Fuck. And there's the health. Jesus Christ. Jordan's health system and healthcare quality have stagnated due to administration inefficiencies, increased service demand, and the increasing divide in service quality between urban and rural hospitals. The average life expectancy has dropped significantly, with issues such as maternity deaths and disease outbreaks. Fuck me, dude. God damn it. Alfonso, what did you leave me, dog? Jesus Christ. Oh. Bro, what? Where? If you focus on education, right? we're planting trees for the future, right? We're planting trees today, so we're hoping that the trees will grow and bear fruit in the future, right? There's no better time to grow a tree than yet plant a tree than yesterday, but today's pretty good. Depends. I mean, there's fucking like a monarchy, an actual kingdom that's trying to fucking fight us. We can't be completely hold our dicks, standing there with our dicks in our hands, or sitting on our hands. I mean, we gotta get. Let's go with education. Maybe some of the kids will get smarts, and they can help us figure out what the fuck we did wrong. 2 weeks had passed since we won the election. I'm already stressed out, dog. Damn, I'm chiding my chest. 2 weeks had passed, and now I know I was about to be sworn in as the fourth president. Now we were watching the inauguration ceremony and cheering my name. Anton Ring! Die was cast. The die was cast, and there my story began. In the distance, the Maroon Palace stood on top of the famous Hill of Pride. I had no way of knowing what the future awaited me there. Maroon Palace. Okay. The Maroon Palace is where the executive branch of the Swordfish government is situated. It was constructed to serve as the summer residence of Alric Renan. And they made a lot of lore, but quickly became of political importance. This turning point was when the Kingdom of Swordland was announced from the balcony of the palace, reflecting the shift of government power from Orlori to Horseland during the transitional period. I could. What is. Son of a bit. Oh my god. It's like a whole Wikipedia page, bro. I don't got time for this. Let's stick with what's important. We can always learn later. God, I'm a fucking monarch. This is what being a monarch is all. Being a president's like. The Maroon Palace received its name from the maroon painted exterior walls. It has 100 rooms and several wings, housing different branches of executive government. Underneath the structure is a highly secure situation room, where the president is safe from any danger and avails any security crisis. Next with the Hill of Pride. The Hill of Pride was named during the declaration of the Kingdom of Swordland, when thousands of countrymen started proudly singing the new anthem of Swordland. It is located at the center of Horseland, between the most important government structures like the Maroon Palace, Supreme Court, the Grand National Assembly, and the Ministry of the Interior. The Hill of Pride is inside the large Capitol Park, which gives the Horse whole Swordians a chance to relax from the city stretch with free time activities in nature. The hill has great symbolic importance because of the declaration of the kingdom and the republic which took place on the top of it during the last century. Look, my son and daughter, Frank and Vina, were next to my wife. Her eyes were gleaming with pride. Then I turned towards the keeper who made it all possible, of course. Each individual was promised an important position in my government. I saw my previous rival and former president, Edward Alphonse, who gave me a slight nod. Joaquin Sol, who invited, was also invited, but as expected, he didn't leave his island retreat. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Orsa Harker, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was awaiting me. The shortest politician, jurist, and the current Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Sweden since 1937. Damn, bud! Wow, alright, this fucking wicked. Oh, Jesus. This guy has 5 paragraphs all to himself? The time for the oath has come. I'm ready. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. Oh, God. It's not me. It's fine. It's fine. It's not like it's my biggest moment in the world. I'm sworn in on yawning. God damn it. I do solemnly swear that I will respectively execute the office of the President of Swordland and to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend. And to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the people of the Constitution of the Republic of Swordland. You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harker. Mike. Dear citizens of Swordland, brothers and sisters, my fellow swords. I'm very eager to listen. The idea of unity, the current situation, the current dire situation, change and hope. You, the people, have chosen. Together we will bring prosperity and reform to our nation. It is a time of hope. It is a time of change. In the past, there have been times of survival, times of conflict, and economic hardships too. Whenever we stood together, we prevailed. Your wait till it is time to turn the faces of the West. I promise we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. It is time for a united and powerful Swordland once again. Hundreds of thousands of people cheered. They were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, and the burden of all of it at the same time. Wave. I waved at the crowd. Each made the people cheer louder. I took a long look at the people of Swordland to burn this moment into my memory. One of the presidential guards came by to notify me that it was time to leave. I made my way to the leading car in the motorcade. The presidential state car was a jet black Padilla. Padilla. Give a second, my laptop dying. With flag of sword on above front headlight. Next to it, a man was holding the door. Serge Wolf. Hello, Mr. President. Serge, fucking honored to be working with you, man. There you are. I still felt euphoric from the aftermath of my speech. Hearing my new title made me smile even more. If you allow me to introduce myself, I am Serge, your new driver. Nice to meet you, Serge. A pleasure. Pleasure is all but mine. He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing inside. I entered the car. We'll be heading towards the palace. The motorcade began to move. On the way, Serge proceeded to explain his duties as a driver. As minutes passed by, I found myself lost in thought again, barely paying attention to what he was saying. He suddenly gestured out the window. Isn't it a beauty? The maroon palace? He was right. Sunlight glinted off the palace's many maroon-colored domes. It was so bright that I had to look away. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded of my duty of this nation, to this nation. So do I, Jay. Oh, Serge. It's the beating heart of this nation, after all. Damn, what have I just said? It's just a building, Serge. Really, just fucking, yeah, whatever. Well said, Mr. President. The car drove past the majestic gates, continued uphill to the entrance, and stopped in the front of the doors. Serge got out of the car and opened the door for me. Have a great day, Mr. President. Morga Westcor. He referred to the famous swordist phrase from the times of revolution, Amorga Westcor. Vecna Sista. This meant morning will come. Victory is close. I made my way upstairs. Through the extravagant corridors of the palace, marbled and engraved wooden finishes decorated the interior. My footsteps echoed in the colossal halls. The guards bowed their heads in respect as I opened the massive doors to my new office. Ooh, yo. Wow. How pretty this game is, dude. Pretty from the current political situation. Peter arrived a couple minutes early and sat across from me. He was struggling to hold back his smile. We did it, Anton. We won! Finally, all those years with those noses up to the grindstone paid off. Peter's eyes sparkled. The strain of the past months had been put a damper on his usual rakish charm. Today, he was looking and acting more like his old self. He loosened his tie and undid the top two buttons of his shirt. Oh snap! Peter's fucking letting loose. Enjoying the new secretary I picked out. Enjoying the new secretary I picked out for you. Thought you'd appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your staff isn't as easy on the eyes. What the fuck, Peter? To a slight paunch that protruded over his waistband. Oh, okay. But hey, back in university, did you ever imagine we would be sitting in the Maroon Palace? We have to celebrate this great victory. Got my hands on something special. Elroy Marine, more than 30-year-old. So I'd love to, dog, but I gotta. Do we not start today? I opened the expensive bottle of whiskey and poured it in the two glasses I prepared. The exquisite smell filled the room immediately. Yeah, this whiskey's gonna taste amazing. Having a glass of whiskey with your best friend of 40 years after you become president and VP. Damn, bro. Ain't nothing gonna top that. In 1924. That was my freshman year. Oh, the year after the revolution. Very difficult times. To be honest, smells like heaven. The future awaits, Peter. Toast. I raised my glass and toasted with Peter before smelling the whiskey and taking a sip. The sweet vanilla tone combined with the oaky taste developed into a lingering smokiness. Peter really seemed to be enjoying himself. What a taste! This is how we should start all meetings, Anton. Pretty much don't remember the last situation. Yeah, but we're different. All they did was enjoy the privilege. Can't make the same mistakes again. We learn from it all. I sure do hope so. The door swung open and Lucien Galad, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp, bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room from wall to wall, he sat down, poured a glass of water, and opened his briefcase. In a series of quick, graceful movements. Hi, Lucien. What's your fucking deal, my guy? Oh shit! All right, I thought that was a monocle. No, that's just a straight up a scar on his face, dude. That's a notable figure. position as chief strategist to the president of Sorlin. He has been an active member of the USP since 1937 and has held a variety of significant roles within the party throughout career. Is there anything about a fucking scar? Career emerges in the public record in 19 when he worked as a lawyer and chief strategy officer at multiple think tanks and public relations agencies in Latvia. He transitioned into politics in the early 30s, providing legal counsel to several influential assembly members in Holsord. Service. No, there's nothing. All right, gentlemen. Tall case cloak in the gloom struck 3. Damn, you are exactly on time. Hello, Peter. Lucian then turned towards me, and very slightly bowed his head. Lucian, how are you? I'm ready and able, sir. Lucian spoke in soft, chipped tones and that immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I waited on him to proceed. Let's start by evaluating our current situation. The majority of the Swordfish people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the Constitution. They blame the system for their problems. People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do they think radicals like Bernard Tirkas are becoming more popular? Everyone's expecting us to bring the change the last government did not. Bernard Tirkas, who's this guy? Yeah, first of all, green mustache. What a good look. He's a Swordfish poet, novelist, short story writer, and communist politician. He is acclaimed for his lyrical flow and was regarded to be the leader of the Swordfish avant-garde. All right. Franz Richter, leader of the Reformists, believes that true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of our powers to the Assembly. I will move into the details of the part of the man shortly. Franz Richter, who's this? The Swedish politician, businessman, and the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party. He's also the major shareholder of the construction company Taurus Holding. He studied economics at London Business School and worked in the. Damn, bro, it's really like I'm a fucking. I have the dossiers on everyone. Oh my god. Who the fuck is this guy? Notable human rights advocate in Sorlin before he joined the PFJP in 1932. He was famed due to his strong influence. His military coup, economic liberalism throughout the first years. His opposition to majority government with USP. Who's gone? Democratize our broken system. We need to listen to people who want to serve this country. Reform for the institution can be accomplished by transferring some of the powers to the assembly. It will not be easy, obviously. Nothing ever is. We need many allies against the old guard in France. Mr. Richter managed to persuade many members of the Assembly to give their support for drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. Franz Richter is him. Okay. While the reformist wing inside our party is still a minority, we could have a tripartisan majority in the assembly, especially if you're under Franz Richter. Everyone to agree that we need change, but we shouldn't be in charge. This could be a potential ally in our goal to maintain a majority in the assembly. Does not fall in line with our can't have a strong divide. Be a potential ally. Definitely key in this. The reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto power, ensure that the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the court's right to vote on constitutional amendments. Oh to their demands. Those we are no different to priests, which I want to allow them to influence me. We will shape our people. We do need to limit our president's veto power. Ensure that the Supreme Court is independent and take away the court's right to vote in constitutional amendments. Yeah, I'm gonna need proper balance. The reason it took me so long to pick is just because I was like, I really want that veto power. I feel like I can be clutch, but we want to make change and trying to set a good example. And it's not like I'm losing much. Never got even to enjoy it, so I'm not really losing anything. I agree, we can't ignore the wings of change, though, after all. The old guard will do its best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Harker and his allied judges have great influence over the Supreme Court, which will be a tough break. The court also has the final say over constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we cannot even change it. We will need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. Spread powers one way or another. Go against some diversity. Yeah, I would make the reformers happy with me maintaining a balance between all branches of government, which means removing your absolute veto as well. The reformists demand that all loopholes in the Constitution are closed. You can't underestimate the situation. We can figure it out. Our party still holds 130 out of 250. We've got the power. However, to reform the Constitution, we must receive a two-thirds majority in the Grand National Assembly, which is 166 votes, and a simple majority of the Supreme Court that equates to 6 votes. Cool. Fuck. After we settle on how to proceed, we will need to talk with our party figures. Our first goal must be to get 150 signatures to start the process. Following the green light from the USP, we will reach out to the other party leaders to see if they will back our draft, the last step to convince the justices of the court. The entire process will take a long time, but we will start working with the Reform Committee to reevaluate the possibilities for a new constitution as soon as possible. We will write a more democratic constitution with the reformers. Should give the president wide-ranging powers to lead institutions. Uh, mm, that, oh, the public wants it to enact expensive reforms. Now do we know if the old would support you? If you go against the demands of the people, reforms will be furious. It could backfire. Candidates too dangerous. Not a risk worth taking this year. According to the initial draft we made with the reformists, there are 2 changes in the Constitution that are not open for the discussion. First, the Supreme Court will no longer vote on constitutional amendments. Second, the president absolute veto will be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes. Yes, sir. We'll form a reform committee together with all parties and start reaching out to all stakeholders in the Assembly and the court for a new constitution. By later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want. Notes. Another important point. You must be aware of the Lothenberg Group. The oligarchs convene under this organization to influence economic policies. Konrad Polanyi Ron P. led it from a long time before falling ill. The leader is Mr. Walter Tusk. Oh Jesus. Is a millionaire businessman investor in the current spokesperson. He owns the Economist Group, which publishes the well-known newspaper, The Economist, and he is a major shareholder of Sword Steel Company, Regia Steel, according to. Okay, fuck. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for some special economic protections. Won't happen. We need to be diplomatic. Wise approach. It's good to understand and see if we can reach a middle ground. I mean, they have the money, dog. To say we don't fucking need them. We're in a fucking, our economy's unstable. We're in a recession. As far as I know, Conrad's son, Marcel, has strong ties to this group. His influence could definitely be an asset to us, but I'm sure he'll want something in return. And fourth, one that we should use to our administrative advantage. Can't get them to tie with us. It all depends on the benefits we can offer and what the leader wants. We need to tread carefully on all sides with all power players to survive on turn. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. The military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, a dangerous one too. We now have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example, but it's quite limited. We do have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example. I want to receive the advice of the military return. You're making up my mind. That's all right. On the horizon, we can't reduce our defense capability and our general staff. Nothing but a burden on our society. No, that's not true. I'm definitely feeling this one's probably this one I'm gonna go with. But I mean, yeah, if they think it's, I mean, obviously the military is always gonna take any threat super seriously. So it doesn't mean we just fucking not take their opinion. Into heart, into consideration. It's sound to listen to them, but they very biased and narrow opinions. Nationalism clouds their minds. General Kruger is a specter of the past. It's more loads. I saw. Damn, bro, they fucked your shit up. Loads to us compared to General Kruger. The fact that it obviously can change with our actions either way. I see a potential rift between the two since they're clearly different minds. If we act strongly against the military, both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with Lucian. We need to tread carefully here. Look at his watch. Well then, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. It concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon. I will keep in touch. See you both at the next meeting. Lucian and Peter bid their farewells and left. A mysterious amount of smoke was rising far away on the horizon. That can be good. Why was there smoke? Why is there smoke? Impulses. In Sorlin, the military operates at the conscripted force, where the duty of military services fall upon males upon reaching the age of 18. This mandatory conscription ensures a consistent and capable pool of personnel to uphold the nation's defense and security, strengthening the overall resilience and readiness of the military. Okay. Yeah, that's too much. Let's just go one thing at a time. report. Bucharest Tourism Act. The Grand National Assembly in Horseland is reading the Tourism and Cultural Preservation Act. This act aims to enhance the cultural and tourism appeal of several cities, including Oren, Rubari, Latvian, and Rika, and Benfi, in a collective push to make Sortland a global tourist destination. Not a bad thing. Pretty good idea. Musical issues. In a recent update from Horseland, the mayor expressed growing concerns about escalating traffic congestion linked to the city's burgeoning population and for rapid urban expansion. A logistics report pinpointed a significant increase in traffic volume and subsequent slowing of transportation routes as the capital's most pressing issues. The mayor stressed that the lack of com- comprehens- comprehensively designed large-scale land-based logistic hub serving as a converging point for all transporters is exacerbating the issues faced by dom- domestic transporters. Given Holswood's stature as a sprawling metropolis, the current situation where the transporters have established separate centers across 10 different districts is scattered and inefficient. Okay, so we gotta figure out how to. Is that our problem? Or is that something that the fucking city would work on? On HSU fire. What? A fire broke down on the academic administration building on the block from the chief of police in Horn indicates a near to complete destruction of employee records from 1890 until now, along with the original copies of the intention to recognize and economic research destroyed. This is the damage is worse than expected. Fuck. Oh, well, that was definitely a targeted thing. People's view on the need for democratic reform in the government structure has changed over the last decade. Reformist propaganda from the leader of People's Freedom and Justice Party, Franz Richter, have resulted in a massive increase in the demands of democratic reforms. It is estimated that currently 55% of the population demands reformist ideas. General Staff gathers. The General Staff convened right after the election to congratulate our victory. All branches of the Swedish Armed Forces were represented in the meeting that took place on Camp Strongarm with massive security measures. The Chief of the Armed Forces, Joachim Kruger, made a public press statement highlighting the increasing chance of military confrontation in eastern Maricopa and requested support to strengthen the military. But well, we're not even in the fucking same. We're not even part of our country anymore, right? Last marine traffic report shows the port of Laki is no longer the busiest of the Maricopa continent, falling behind to the third position. While this is a negative indicator for administration, La Lackavian still has the potential to shine again as a major trading center. Port Lachlan is the largest port of Scotland. Oh, this is a part of it, and holds enormous importance for the economy, particularly as the main distribution center linking the capital and inner parts of Scotland to the rest of the world. This major port city will hopefully keep supporting a possible economic upturn in the entire country if investment projects succeed. Low production in Ireland. The report called attention to the alarming low levels of production growth in the region of Auckland, where there are also high rates of food insecurity, malnutrition, and rural poverty in inner parts of the region. Where are we at right now? The Republic of Lesbia? Like, oh, okay, nice. Congratulations from the Prime Minister Alvarez. Prime Minister Alvarez congratulated you for the results and spoke about his hopes to have a beneficial partnership deal in the future. He sent best wishes to the Swedish people and warned us about the threats of the encroaching Malinvist influence of United Contana from the east, emphasizing the importance of unity in our continent. Marcopa. Oh, is Marcopa fucking like for real? Is it like a problem? What? What's happening here? Oh, okay, I went to a different map. How did I go to a different map? This is all. It's just all different. I'm assuming these are all just different states. All one country, just different states. Fort Horseland. Yeah, that's what's having to look at the economy. Simon Hall, Gus Magner, and Elias Graff were about to arrive in the White Room for a scheduled economy meeting. This was a room in the Maroon Palace where all the important meetings were held. Simon, yes, Elias. Listening to right first, carrying a heavy projector, they stood with it by the door, waiting for the ministers to enter. From the hallway, I heard Elias Graff's voice. She was using the patient, almost motherly tone she often took in heated arguments. Gus, do you really think that such an economically advanced area is in much need of investment than Ogland? Asked my interior minister Strogan. She was clad in shades of brown and beige, the only spot of color a bright yellow Dasnurius cross on her necklace. Gus followed close behind. Don't be an idiot, Elias. What about the unemployment crisis in the greater Horseland and Riesland regions are going through? These are these areas are an economic heartland. Thus curled his hands into fists. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development's temper hadn't changed since his days in the Alphonse administration, but neither had his reputation for getting things done. His far-reaching network of connections was unlike any other. Okay. Gus, I quickly stepped between the two ministers without looking at either of them. He cleared his throat. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm very well and motivated, Mr. Rain. It seems our ministers are feeling the same. You see that? What's the discussion about? Great to hear. Let's begin. Yes, Mr. President. Come and pulled a silk handkerchief out of his pocket and briefly wiped his glasses. My staff and I are comprehensively analyzed every aspect of. He was interrupted by a groan from one of the assistants by the door, both of whom were now visibly struggling to hold up the heavy projector. Oh, you can put that there. Putting below the painting of the president's soul, the assistant placed the projector next to the table and installed the white screen on the wall. Leave now, I mean, thank you. Leave now, I mean, thank you, and please leave now. Next gallery room and remind you that Simon had never quite had a way with people, but his facility with numbers had made him the most sought-after economic specialist in Sweden. Simon started looking for his slides. He always carried the documentation around with him. Simon, what happened to the new police station construction in Estrode? Going through his brief, he paused for a moment to answer. It got stalled due to government property border issue. I have been meaning to look into it. Look at it. We can take a look at that once Estrode needs all the security help it can get. That at that one next. Sure, more time for me to spend on that analysis. Analyses? His eyes glittered when he finally found the slides he was looking for. Then we have some developments about the Swordfish rain then losing further value today. We have been trying to stabilize it with the central bank. The recession of '51 put enormous pressures on the economy, resulting in the collapse of the value of our currency. The entire situation was a significant cause of concern for the administration. Son of a bitch, bro. Can I get a fucking break? Non-stop, back-to-back fucking problems, chat. This is crazy. What would you like to know about the current economic situation? Jesus. What's our GDP in that situation like, Simon? Okay. It's 310 billion Swedish franc, and the national debt is 427 billion. Okay. All right. It's actually not that bad. Okay. We're only 127 billion. I mean, Fuck. Fuck. Damn, dude. We can do it technically in 2 years. We fucking spent it on nothing, but just worrying about our debt. Hard to fathom that we locked in 150 billion in wealth. The past 3 years were tough. Damn, bruh. What are the unemployment and inflation rate? Unemployment has skyrocketed and is now at a staggering 16%, and the inflation is at a relatively high of 10%. Son of a bitch. Unemployment is increasing crime and drug use. We need to get people off the streets. Inflation isn't helping our average citizens either. The economy has been in a recession of about. Oh, sorry. Oh. The economy has been in a recession of about -6% in the past year. The average GDP dropped from SR 15454 per capita to SR 10359 from 1951 to now. In 3 years, that drop off is fucking crazy, bro. This administration's success depends on our ability to stop the recession. The sooner we can reach the GDP growth, the better. I'm sorry, I get tired when I read a lot. I have all the information needed. Let's move on to the economic strategy. Simon scattered the paper sack in front of him in an orderly manner and took a final look at his notes before clearing his throat. As you can see, the situation is alarming, but not everything is negative. The extensive privatization program of Alfonso and key foreign direct investments left us a large budget surplus, which we can use to stabilize the prices. The primary subject we need to settle on is what general path we will take in our turn. Salonics-based nationalization happened in the 30s and Alfonso's privatization began during the end of the 40s. Which, what will our administration focus on? One of our main promises was to promote a planned economy to stop the recession. To be frank, I still don't think that was a good idea. We shouldn't go back to Salonics. It was a reason for the recession. Self-sufficiency will help us in tough times. Simon ignored the statement. What are the consequences of the free market? There are not many, but one could say that we are much more likely to be influenced by the world economy. It is important to think about this subject because of the upswings of the world economy will reflect good on ours too. Yes, and when the global economy crashes, we go down with it. The structural problems of silence were going to lead to a recession according to the predictions at the time. Anyways, either way, even if we pick one of the doctrines, we retain the option to make economic choices on a case by case basis. That is, however, not recommended in my point of view. The last thing we need is a chaotic economic plan. Honestly, we can both agree on. There is another important factor which has a direct impact on our economy: superpowers. We might have won the election, but I'm still against aligning ourselves with any superpowers. Economically speaking, we are much closer to Arcasia than United Contana. So a decision to align with the West makes more sense. We must be very cautious. There are schemes being devised about Scotland. Rutland. We cannot give in to their wants, nor now or in the future. Otherwise, our country will turn into a pawn. I want you to reconsider your promise to align with Arcasia. You may be right, but let's see what the future brings. We have made a promise. We want to trust the president? What kind of example would we? Mr. President, we made a promise. People want to trust the president. What kind of example would we set of generations for the future if we went back on our own promises? The generations would be thankful every day for making the right decision when Switzerland is the only nation in the region that is not a puppet. When the time comes, I will hope we will make the right decision for our own good. We should attract more foreign direct investment to this program. We saved the country from a full-on depression in 1952 and 1953 by signing lucrative trade deals with nations like Russia, Lesbia, and Cunard. Let me clear his throat again. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Minister. Whiskey will be in charge of informing you on those types of foreign policies decisions. We must first decide on an internal economic plan. Let me put forward a legal document outlining the possibilities with both economic doctrines listed. Cabinet members look at me. Legal doc outlining the possibilities with both economic doctrines listed. Cabinet member. Okay. We have to thank Seoul and his fine economy for this boom. It clearly shows the strength of the system. With a long-term economics, taking construction company, trade relations, tax reform, and welfare privatization or nationalization incentives would freeze some of them. We must choose wisely. Remember that the free market economy in all forms is the future of the world. I wouldn't be so sure. With economics, diplomatically, it would make United Content look at our country in a more positive light. They're opponents of a planned economy, United Content, social republic situated on it, and considered us as a superpower of the world. What's for socialists? Okay. Whatever's whatever that's worth, the influence of Akasi has on the world economy is extensive. Our economic strategy should be based on the internal reasoning. So, constitutional republic. The reason the recession was because it's not true. There was plenty of time for him to do it. Must remain in state control. We must fully look at opportunities like privatization, create financial resources, require as much guidance. Position to be, Mr. President, but your final say is what counts. Remember, it's the overall strategic direction. Our ability to make individual economic decisions still remains. But will our general economic plan will not have we promised? Yeah. Bro, weren't you just fucking saying that we have to? God, I don't know what. Well, there's 30. This concludes the next. Now the rest of this plan decided upon, Minister versus Luxembourg Palace. Aligned with the economic vision, we are advocating for a planned economy system, urging businesses to align with other operations with this approach. Through comprehensive economic planning, coordinated resource allocation, we aim to optimize productivity, ensure social welfare, and achieve long-term economic stability and growth. 20%. The EPA implement of 19 safeguards Swordens energy industry from excessive foreign ownership. The act was amended in 1949 under the Alfonso government, setting the limits of foreign ownership to an international in national security sensitive energy corporations at 20%. Cool. Okay, according to the Article 5 of the Constitution, an amendment may be proposed by members of the Assembly with at least 150 signatures. Okay, cool. 9 o'clock. I've been streaming for about an hour and a half, and I've done nothing but a lot of reading. This is a good place to end it. Thank you guys so much for coming by. This is not the end of this at all. I do like this game. I know it's a lot. It's just they really make it seem like every decision you make is very important, and I need to. What is this? Who is it? Who are they? I need time to really think and mull over the decisions I made. I'm not sure I've made any good ones right now. I'm really in a state of